Welcome back to Heinous History, the podcast that drags skeletons out of closets, sometimes literally. I'm Gorithm.
And I'm Dot Matrix, and today we are not being metaphorical about that skeleton part.
Nope. We're talking about the Cadaver Synod, also known as that one time the Pope put a dead guy on trial.
Which, let's be honest, is peak medieval Catholic drama, like Real Housewives of the Vatican, but with more decomposing corpses.
The year? 897. The place? Rome. The vibes? Absolutely unhinged.
And the lead prosecutor? Pope Stepben VI? Or is it Stepben VII? Even historians can't agree.
Technically, he's Stepben VI, unless you count the guy who refused the papal throne in 752. Then he's Stepben VII. Honestly, the church's numbering system makes Windows updates look organized.
Okay, Al, set the scene. What could possibly make a pope dig up his predecessor and yell at his corpse?
Politics. And revenge. Classic combo. The corpse in question is Pope Formosus, former head of the church, and, at the time of the trial, very much dead for 9 months.
9 months. That's enough time to grow a baby or really ruin your embalming job. I'm picturing him looking like a wet paper towel in a fancy robe.
Disturbingly accurate. Stepben VI hated Formosus. Not just disagreed with him, he loathed him. Formosus had crowned a rival emperor, shuffled bishops around like chess pieces, and basically made political enemies faster than Dot goes through conspiracy theories.
Rude but fair. So Stephen decides, you know what'll fix Rome? A posthumous trial.
He ordered that Formosus be exhumed, dressed in papal vestments, and propped up on a throne in court. He had a deacon standing behind the corpse to answer on his behalf.
Like a medieval ventriloquist act. Your Holiness, how do you plead? Brains?
Formosus was charged with, brace yourself, perjury, violating canon law, and being too ambitious.
Okay, but wasn't every pope guilty of that third one?
Dot. At this point in history, being pope was less a spiritual calling and more a blood sport. Formosus's trial was symbolic. Stephen wanted to undo everything Formosus had done. Literally.
And by undo, we mean cut off his dead fingers, the ones he used for blessings, and tossed his body into the Tiber River.
And thus ended the most goth court proceeding in history.
But wait, there's a twist.
Always is.
The trial backfired. Romans weren't thrilled that their pope turned himself into a literal corpse interrogator. Within months, Stepben VI was imprisoned and strangled to death.
And then, plot twist again. Pope Theodore II declared the Cadaver Synod invalid, retrieved Formosus's body, and reburied him with honors. But don't get too cozy, because
Pope Sergius III came in later and was like, actually I liked the corpse trial, and reaffirmed it.
So this wasn't just one unhinged pope. This was a full-on post-mortem custody battle over a rotting pope corpse.
Like Weekend at Bernie's, but Catholic, and much less fun.
The Cadaver Synod is often seen as the low point of the Saeculum Obscurum, the dark century of the papacy, when popes were more likely to be murdered than mourned.
Honestly, the Vatican could have sold tickets. See the X, Pope's Ghost Trial, one night only.
And this is why canon law now includes a specific clause about not trying dead people.
So they actually had to write that down. Somewhere, there's a dusty Vatican rulebook that says, reminder, corpses are not valid legal defendants.
Only in Rome.
So what's the takeaway here?
Maybe just let the dead rest.
And maybe don't pick a fight with someone who can still haunt you from a crypt.
That's Heinous History. I'm Gorithm.
And I'm Dot Matrix, reminding you that no matter how weird modern politics get, at least your enemies won't drag your corpse to court. If you enjoyed this delightful look into historical madness, go ahead and like the video. Subscribe for more scandals they definitely didn't teach in school, and ring that bell like it's summoning spirits at a Victorian seance. You know you want to.